Customers can now buy your stuff directly on Google. Star Seller changes again. And this one thing that sellers are doing that is absolutely banned and is a big no no in today's episode of Seller News. Let's go. Hey everyone, what is happening? Welcome back to the Seller News Friday episode. I'm LL, your host and leader of the Handmade and Beyond community over at handmadeandbeyond.com. Glad to be back with you guys as usual. I've been out of town the last week, so I haven't done one of these episodes in I think 2 weeks. I don't know. It's all starting to blend together. So I'm trying to ramp up the content for you guys. I hope that you find these valuable. And if you do, please let me know in the comments, in the reviews, wherever you're watching this, whether it be on YouTube or on a podcast. I appreciate the reviews. I appreciate the kind words, and it helps me keep going and stay motivated to keep rolling these out for you guys, because this is not always easy to do. It does require some research, even though maybe sometimes it doesn't seem like I do research and I just babble on or fumble over my words. I try to do the best that I can for you guys and help your businesses continue to grow and give you relevant information, actionable information. That's why I like doing these seller news episodes, because things are changing pretty often sometimes, and it's easy to miss stuff. You know, you wake up one day and everything's changed and you didn't even see it coming. So I want to help you prevent that and let you know at least things are coming, or at least things have happened, so you guys can prepare and be able to move on with your business. All right, so let's dive into today's episode. Got some good stuff for you. The number one thing that I wanted to talk about today is now shoppers on Google can find and purchase Etsy listings directly on Google. They do not have to bounce over to the Etsy platform. They can check out directly on Google, and then it's all done behind the scenes. Don't freak out. You're still going to get paid. You're still going to get that stuff, the money in your payment account on Etsy. It's just done through the partnership with Google, using their payment processor or a third-party payment processor, whoever they use to collect the payments and then transfer it to Etsy. It's going to happen seamlessly behind the scenes. You're not even going to know what's going on as far as you're concerned. It's going to come right to your dashboard, and it's going to look like it was bought directly on the Etsy platform. Two ways that customers can do this: either through the offsite ads. That is something where you're automatically, or you may not be automatically opted in yet, if you have a certain amount of sales in the last rolling 365-day period. If you have over 10,000 sales, you're automatically opted in. If you're not at that level yet, you can choose whether you want to be opted in to offsite ads or not. I'm not going to get into the whole offsite ads stuff, but if you are opted into it, basically your listings are being advertised on Google. Not all your listings, they pick and choose which ones. You only have to pay the ad fee if your item sells, if someone buys it. And it may not be the full 10 or 12%, depending on which category you fall into. But if someone buys it, that is the only time that you pay. If they don't buy it, it's free advertising. So that's kind of nice. But now, if they see it on Google, they can check out, buy it on Google. They don't have to bounce back. Less steps, which is always good for buyers, because people get distracted. People may not check out because something happens, or it's just that they don't want to be redirected. So this is a good thing. The other way, your listings still get shown on Google Shopping, whether you're on offsite ads or not. Again, not all of them. They're select. They this depends on the keywords and how they're optimized. But some of your listings will show in Google Shopping. Again, when you go to Google and you type something in, you can see the whole shopping tab. Your listings will show in there. At least some of them will. Someone can check out directly from there. They don't have to be redirected. If they click on it, they won't go to Etsy. They won't go to your shop. So it's good. It's going to be quicker. So it should help give you a boost with sales from Google. Google is still the biggest search engine in the world. They are an absolute powerhouse. So anytime you can make it easier to get items on Google and check out on Google, it's always going to be a good thing, I think. So that is the main change I want to tell you guys about. So keep an eye on that. Hopefully that gives you a nice boost, especially around the holidays. This is a good change just in time for the holiday season and the buttload of traffic that is about to come our way. All right, the next change is the I'm talking about controversial things. I talked about offsite ads. Now I'm going to talk about star seller changes. Not getting into the muddiness of it. I'm just telling you about what the changes are, good, bad, or indifferent. So star seller has changed. The biggest change that they've made is now you get live chat support in the shop manager if you are a star seller. And it looks like you still qualify even if you have one of the badges. You don't have to be a complete star seller to get the live chat. I've tested that. I've been a star seller. I have not been. I've fallen off good graces, and I've still had the chat support in there to be able to reach support directly. This has been a big area of contention. I'm not going to talk about how terrible Etsy support is. But they have made it harder if you're not a star seller to be able to contact them. In my opinion, people that aren't star sellers probably need help more than star sellers. I've maybe reached out to Etsy one time just because I haven't needed their help. But people that are newer usually need more help, and they are not star sellers yet. So it is what it is. The other change was Etsy rolled this out a little while ago was they have individual badges. So you have the star seller badge, but maybe you don't meet star seller yet because there's 3 requirements. So you can get individual badges. So the one badge is speedy replies, rave reviews, and smooth shipping. So those are the 3 criteria. If you go to your star seller tab, it'll go in detail on what you need to do to meet those criteria and show you your percentage. But so maybe you only have one of those or 2 of those. You'll still get those badges in your shop, and you won't be a star seller, but you'll still have maybe speedy replies and rave reviews. You just may not have smooth shipping yet. You may have missed that and sent out something late. So you can work on that. And once you meet that requirement, then you'll get the star seller badge. So that's something new. So if you're close, you still get some badges that show up that customers may or may not see. At the end of the day, I still think a lot of customers don't even know what that is or what it means. Reviews are the most important. Star seller still doesn't hurt search or anything like that. It's just an extra badge, something extra for customers to hopefully see and want to buy from you. So that is it as far as the star seller changes. It's going to keep evolving, so hold on tight. They're going to keep making changes to it. That's just the way that any platform is. They're always going to be changing. So good, bad, or indifferent. I keep saying that. It's my new combination of words for the week. If you don't like change, you're probably not going to like selling online. That's all I'm saying, because it's going to continue to happen. The next thing I wanted to let you guys know is Etsy is doing their next Cyber Week sales event, November 18th through the 30th. So if you want to participate in that, you have to set your shop on sale for at least 20%. If it doesn't work for your margins, it doesn't work for your shop, don't do it. But if you can do it, I would, because some of your stuff could be featured. Etsy does feature sales shops that are on sale in their sales events. Also, people can search for shops and listings that are on sale. So it's always a good thing to try and periodically run some sales if you can in your shop, especially for sales events, especially for holidays. And that brings us, this is not a natural transition, but that brings us to the next thing I wanted to talk about is the banned item that people are doing, which is Jeffrey Dahmer stuff, costumes, and memorabilia and stuff like that. So Etsy eBay rather got on the news because they were allowing people to sell Jeffrey Dahmer costumes, and then they completely banned it and scrubbed pretty much everything Jeffrey Dahmer from eBay. So I went and looked this morning. There's 245 things still under Jeffrey Dahmer, but they're mostly like news clippings. There was definitely no costumes, no memorabilia on there. And I still think that they're not allowed to sell anything. I think they completely scrubbed Jeffrey Dahmer's stuff. So that got me curious, obviously, about Etsy. I went and looked on Etsy, and there are still 1,600 items Jeffrey Dahmer related on Etsy, like mugs and shirts. I saw 1 or 2 costumes on there. But Etsy is 100% banned serial killer stuff. So you cannot sell serial killer items that commemorate or honor a serial killer or human suffering or tragedies. It's in their seller handbook. So all those 1,600 items are absolutely banned. They will probably eventually get shut down. If you have only those items in your shop, it's probably going to shut down your whole shop. So don't do it. Don't think about it. Don't think about doing another serial killer in the future. You can do fake ones, which I guess is kind of weird, right? But you can't do real ones for sure. So I don't do it. Don't even think about doing it. This is where popular trends can get you in trouble. So you have to check and make sure. Just because it's popular and people are all about it doesn't mean that you can do it in your shop. Make sure you do due diligence and check, because this is the kind of stuff that gets people banned and they get PO'd at Etsy when in return they should have did their research and not did it in the first place. So if you're thinking about doing it, don't do it. You're sick and you shouldn't do it. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, don't do it. The Netflix thing made Jeffrey Dahmer big again, which is kind of crazy. I watched it. I had to watch it, see what it was all about. It's definitely sick. So Evan Peters is good. He's a good actor. I watched him in American Horror Story, but just knowing that it's real is it's like very, very sickening to watch. So if you have a weak stomach, just don't do it to yourself. You'll have nightmares. I don't know why I did it. Curiosity, I guess. All right, so enough about Mr. Dahmer, Mr. Sicko Dahmer. The last thing I wanted to let you guys know about that's happening right now is Royal Mail is on strike, which is obviously impacting England. So if you're shipping stuff to England, if they're one of your big, if a lot of your customers are in England or you're in England yourself, which I'm sure you know about it if you're in England itself, the shipping is probably going to be delayed. It's probably going to be a little bit of a mess. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I'm pretty sure it's starting this week, and they have a couple of dates planned. So I don't know. I don't live in England, so I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be impacted. I just know it's probably going to be impacted. So be prepared for that. Maybe, if a lot of your customers come from England, maybe you want to update your announcements page to let people know, like, hey, there's probably going to be delays. So just keep an eye out for that and be prepared for the stuff that may come around the corner in regard to the blowback with any type of mailing service being on strike. And I know it's perfect time for the holidays, right? For the mail service to go on strike. So that's another thing that could really create a mess. So hopefully not. Hopefully they get it all ironed out and all worked out. But we'll see. That is it, guys. Those are the things that I wanted to cover in this episode of Seller News. Hopefully you found it relevant, useful, helpful. Again, if you did, I'd appreciate a review, a comment, a like, a follow, a share, a subscribe, wherever you're listening to this, because try to be all over the place. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your support and support. I said that really weird. Support. I can't get through an episode. I can't get through one episode without messing up some word or saying something weird or making things awkward. Anyways, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys listening. Stay tuned. I'll be back with another episode very soon to help you guys out. Have an amazing rest of your day and weekend.